We're definitely coming back in the future.
Sutter Heyman Jewelers, Lincoln and Grand Island. SutterHeyman.com.
Coming at you live from the heart of Lincoln, America. This is Old School, sponsored by the Mercado by Certified Piedmontese. Broadcasting veteran Derek Pearson.
When you find something that moves them, that makes them smile, celebrate it. That's your task. That's your superpower.
Nebraska Football Hall of Famer Jay Foreman.
Rifles a pass. It was tipped. It's picked off by Foreman. He's at the 15, 10, 5. He'll score!
On 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
What up? This is Old School, the original OGs. In the place to be, Jay Foreman, DP, Austin on the ones and twos. We're brought to you by the Mercado, Certified Piedmontese and Special Ingredients and Butcher Shop located at 84th and Havelock. Every type of meat, every type of cut. Walk into the butcher shop, ask them what's up, and see what they got going for you today. It is what's Wednesday? I would say Wacky Wednesday or Wishful Wednesday, since the portal is live in effect here at Nebraska, as it is across the nation, because the time is ticking. You got 96 more hours, I think, or whatever it is, to find a home, or before it opens again, or you're lost in transition, like you're in Star Wars or Star Trek. But in Nebraska, I think you're going to see some more names in there. We got news of the transfer portal on Nebraska basketball. I guess some sort of connection where Hunter Salas has picked Wake Forest. Wish he would, obviously came here, and then so what that means for Nebraska. Keisei Tamanaga has entered his name into the pre-draft camp. See where he, what his strengths and weaknesses are, and what he could possibly do to, if he's, gets a good enough grade, he's probably going to stay in the draft. If not, come back, work on his game. Got NBA news. Kawhi Leonard has a meniscus tear. There's a report that he has some pretty serious structural damage to his knees, and so his load management is definitely load management. It will be for the rest of his career, but more importantly, like after he gets done playing, how he'll be able to function. So, but then you got the playoffs. Does Memphis survive? Is this Dylan Brooks' last game? Is this because I wonder how much if it is his last game and the Lakers close him out, the question would be, how many texts does he get returned? I'm going to dive in a little bit. I'm going to dive into a little bit more on the.
You could have said text or text, and both would have been appropriate.
He won't get any. And then also a little bit, kind of like something that goes along with that. I talked about it a little bit yesterday. Was Draymond Green and Harrison Barnes, and the animosity, which seems to be one-sided. Harrison Barnes towards Draymond and Golden State. There's a little bit more in depth than that. I got to listen to Draymond talk about it. Understandable on both sides, but also, at the end of the day, Harrison Barnes, you're getting paid almost a max contract, and you're not getting max points and rebounds. And so a lot to cover, DP. First and foremost, we're going to spend a ton of time on this Husker team, what it means. I know people are shocked by some names to get in there. I think they're going to be shocked by some more, whether it's willingly or pushed that way. But today you had, I'm sure there's been more. I've been kind of out of the loop. I know Big Stephon Wynn, Braxton Clark. Obviously, we had the two quarterbacks yesterday.
Sean Hardy,
who I will tell you about Sean Hardy. when he was a young freshman, he has a ton of talent, man. I'm telling you, he never really got the opportunity to kind of showcase. It was always like, okay, yeah, he should redshirt because you got Torrey and, you know, this other stuff, right? But then you're like, okay, well, then here comes Mickey. Mickey could do some things with him, but Mickey had to win right now because everybody was on the clock. Brought in two guys he knew, Marcus Washington and obviously Trey Palmer, paid dividends along with some other guys that were a little bit longer in the tooth. But Sean Hardy especially, just because I've seen him work, seen him produce just in practice. Okay, I mean, he hadn't played in the game. If he played in the game, he'd probably still be on the team. All that stuff is in his want to get better. That one, if any of them, will probably hurt the most because I think if he gets in the right situation, you'll start to hear his name because he can catch. He's a hand catcher. That means he has big, strong hands. Mm-hmm. He has speed to separate. He has good size. He has really good run after the catch ability. But I think when you got 16, scholarship receivers, and they brought in a plethora of in their first kind of cycle, you just kind of odd man out. And so I think you're going to hear more names because they got to get down to that 85. Sooner or later, you got to get down to 85.
I think they're going to have to get below 85.
Well, just to be in,
like, to get to compliance, you got to get to 85. But they're going to have that's to say that their 85 best players are going to win games in the Big Ten this year.
It's got to be the top 40. But yeah, so I mean, they got to get below 85, and they might do that right off the rip.
Can you justify in your head? You were a special teams guy as well. A long snapper being on scholarship when your numbers are over.
Yeah, if he's good enough.
Okay.
He's your starting long snapper. Is your starting long snapper?
This is your guy.
Well, then
Marco Ortiz is a scholarship senior.
Listen, that position is huge. It's crucial. It is because it keeps you on time. Obviously kicking field goals and extra points. Now we've seen. That is always.
We know the opposite.
We know it's been an adventure, mm-hmm. right? It used to be like any other school, and I'm in particular talking about a couple years ago. Oh, you score a touchdown. All right, this is the time for me to go. Maybe go to the bathroom, fill up your drink. Check on. Flip the burgers. Well, now you used to have to watch. I think they brought in some good kickers last year. Big ups to Coach Bush, but long snapper is key. Not only
three kickers. So two place kickers. A punter and a special.
Don't have a special teams coach, mm-hmm. and don't complain about special teams. I'll just talk about people in general, mm-hmm. and then wonder why you have people that are specialists on scholarship. Mm-hmm. How you got to the place? Okay, this is before Bill Bush and all that, and how you got to the place of having probably one of the worst special teams, no doubt, in Nebraska history, in the nation, is not putting less resources into it. So. A long snapper is key because when you're thinking about punting and say if you want to do directional punts and you got to go up to, well, let's just go back to Michigan State a couple years ago. You need a directional punt. And sometimes your long snapper can be so good, he can direct you to mm-hmm. where you need to punt.
That half step.
He can snap it and
mm-hmm.
it kind of curves right there. So then you got to kick it right where they need it. So that's important. Punters, kickers, and guys that actually maybe aren't on scholarships. I know they got a really good punter in Jacob Hull that came over from Westland that can legitimately kick and punt. He's an engineer, real smart guy, but he's paying his own way. Those are guys that you need. You need depth at every position, and you can't gloss over special teams. You want to know why? Old Nicky Saban has two national championships two national championships that he probably thinks a lot about just as much as the 7 or 8 or however many he's won. The 2 that he lost based on kickers. The one Auburn, the kick and return, yep. And then the field goal kicker that couldn't make 2 field goals to get him to win the championship. So it's important. It's very important. And if you got a special teams coach and he's a paid special teams coach, and that's primarily what he do, because I think is that all Foley does? Special teams? He's not special teams in like tight end or anything, right? So if he's just a special teams coach, to give him the best opportunity to be the best special teams coach he can be, he has to have scholarships in there. And
11 safeties are currently on the scholarship list. 11
safeties. Well, 11
safeties,
that might
no
be
seniors.
But see, that might be a little different because of the 3-3-5.
Well, these are the numbers, right?
All right.
So 11 safeties, 10 cornerbacks. So 21 of your 41, because if you're going to go 4 for special teams, offense gets 41, defense gets 41. If 21 of them are just defensive backs. Now, special teams, everything we just talked about.
That's important too.
That we know that defensive backs play the most. Defensive backs, linebackers, tight ends will do most of the work for special teams.
They should.
So, but 21 of your 40, they currently have 46 on defense. 21 of them are defensive backs. 0 seniors. You have no seniors in the safety room.
That's good. Well, that's fine, but you got to think there's COVID years in there. I mean, Farmer's been here for a while. Buford's been here for a while.
Noah's been here. Singleton's been here.
Yeah, no.
Guilford.
Let's just come on now. Gifford's been here. Okay, hold on. I mean, let's just keep it real here. Okay. All right. So let's just start over here. Okay. Farmer's been here. Buford's been here. Gifford's played. I'm sure. Did Collier play at Florida?
I don't know.
Maybe he didn't. Okay, so just take him out. So you got those guys that have played.
Kobe Bretts.
He hasn't played, but he's been here.
Jalil Martin.
None of those guys have played. But, yeah, so there's a lot of young guys.
Corey Collier had 1 tackle in 2021, 1 tackle in 2022.
He ain't play. So you got 3 main guys, and then you got some young guys. But, I mean, that's just part of it. I mean, look.
10 corners.
But also, DP, this is what people don't understand. And this isn't revisionist history. Sorry to Heyman text line, but this is just factual truth. So when you go back and you hire Scott Frost and Bill Moose, or they are allowed to gut the roster.
Yep.
Essentially, you go from let's call it on-time roster, freshmen, sophomore, juniors, seniors, right? To essentially at 1 year they were the youngest team in the nation. Well, then COVID hits, and then now you're still spinning your wheels. You're still trying to play catch up in a 100-meter race, and there's 20 meters left. So now you got to go in overdrive. So now you need some of the guys that have actually had that COVID year, which is a free year of kind of playing football just to kind of keep your skills sharp, even though they're not long in the tooth grade wise, they've been around the block some. So in order to catch up, those guys have to step up. And then when they step up, the young guys have to be able to step up. Then you will get back on time. And so that's how you get to this place where you have 11 safeties, no seniors, right? Because you got to think, just before last year, it was a senior-laden defensive back group. That's when we were the best 3-9 team in the nation, right? You know what I'm saying?
I just need to punch myself in the forehead every time.
Well, you guys were saying it.
Right? No, it was never. Look, I don't claim. I don't claim.
We got you on recording.
You never heard me say the best. No,
we heard it all the time.
So 0 seniors at tight end, offensive line, D line, 1 linebacker in Luke, 2 cornerbacks, 1 quarterback, 1 running back. Seniors. You have 9 seniors, 23 juniors, 23 sophomore, 10 redshirt freshmen.
Man, let's just keep it real, man.
Let's
just keep it real.
Like, you got to get rid of 7
go through the
players.
roster and tell me who you would cut. All right, just go through. I mean, Austin. Austin. Let's just get it. I mean, he over here playing the numbers game, right? I ain't got that. Listen, man. My brain don't function.
You're playing the name game.
It's
7
spots.
Everybody knows.
Just to get even.
All that stuff just don't correlate with me. Let's just get down to business. That's why I told Kenny I would have been having them conversations 2 weeks ago. Because come Wednesday, I would have been at 85.
Mm-hmm.
And then you know what else I would have done? I would have been whatever number. That's where I would have been.
Then I would ask this question: which room needs the biggest, the quickest improvement? Because those people you're going to have to get through the transfer portal, and for whatever rooms that is, that's how many numbers below 85 you got to go. Right? You need another wide receiver.
I don't really know that. I think
you need another wide receiver. You need a 1A.
I think they find. I think first of all, I think for what Marcus Washington. Well, the way Trey Palmer ended. Everybody like Trey Palmer had a slow, like a little bit of an inconsistent, slow start.
Mm-hmm.
Marcus Washington kind of came out, then he had an inconsistent middle, and then he started to become consistent. So if you have Marcus Washington and you're assuming that he's going to consistently get better and take hold of the opportunity. Then you got Billy Kemp, who's kind of he's not the a 1A receiver is a guy that goes out to the right. That's Jerry Rice, Randy Moss, and all those guys. Okay. On the other side, you got a guy that can shake and bake, and that'd be like more your number 2, obviously Wayne Cabret and all that. That's Billy Kemp, right?
Yep.
Health wise.
Yep.
Then you got Fleeks, right? Who's kind of like
I think posse. I think Art Monk, Gary Clark, Ricky Sanders.
I'm thinking more like Cobb up there with a run.
Okay.
Like kind of he's a running back in high school. He knows. I'm sure he knows his system because he knows the wide receiver coach personally. I think did they play high school together?
Yeah.
Okay, so they play high school together. The wide receiver coach knows what makes him tick. He knows how to lead that group. So he's a guy that could be your possession receiver. And then you got the plethora of the other dudes in there that's got to step up. I'm like, who am I missing in the wide receiver room?
Isaiah Garcia Castaneda, Xavier Betts.
So then out of those two, you need to get one. So it's got to be a combination of those two.
That gives you 5 receivers that from this, that if you started tomorrow, are you happy with those 5? Can those 5 win in the Big Ten Conference?
Well, yeah, but I think that but that's with those two. You got one that how many yards did Marcus Washington have last year? 6 something.
I don't think he had that much. I think he was like 430 or something.
Damn. I thought he had more than that.
I don't know.
Yeah, for whatever Iowa, dang, Marcus, we gotta get you going, brother.
Marcus Washington last season had 471 yards on 31 catches, and the 1 touchdown at Iowa.
Yeah, I mean Kemp is a 60 catch and 70 catch guy. So 2 years in the ACC, 60 catches, 70 catches. So that possession, he'll be the quarterback's best friend. Whoever the quarterback is, Kemp will be his best friend because he'll go in the slot. He'll get an advantage. He'll either be on a nickel back or he'll get behind a linebacker and force him to chase. But then, are you getting from IGC or Xavier what you want? And it may be in the kick game, may be in the return game, right? That Betts and IGC help you.
Text line through Malachi Coleman out. Do you think he's ready? Do you think he can play a role?
Kick returner. If it was opening day and they I was kind of bummed that for the spring game they didn't have enough work to have Malachi, because I think that's something he does better than the other stuff that he was recruited for. That's just to me. Your returners are coming from this. Kemp's a returner. Fleeks is a returner. Betts is a returner. So do you need to get better in that room? Is that a room that requires another?
But then it's like this is the thing. Dude, you shopping at Kmart, man.
I fully understand that, right?
Dude's got to step up at some point in time. I think that's what the wide receiver coach gets paid to do, to get the maximum out of this wide receiver room, and that's why it's so important that the cousin of the wide receiver room, which is the tight end room, which is Fedoni's he's thinking that Fedoni's going to be Mark Bavaro and all that. Just get that out of your head, okay? And
you just need for him to be.
We need him to see him 12 games and him to get consistently better every game, no more, no less, and everything else will take care of itself. You need the same out of Gilbert. Then you got to think of Borkature. Then you got to think of Bonner, kind of the Swiss Army knife, and then you need one of the guys that you that you moved there. Then that takes the pressure off of the wide receivers. But you need health, right? So, and health isn't just, your arm, knees, and all that. Health is mentally, as far as being engaged. Marcus Washington, can you health for him will be mentally come to terms with the opportunity that's there, and then do everything possible to make sure it happens. That means you and Jeff Sims and Casey Thompson need to be tied at the hip. And we haven't even got into the quarterback room
or the offensive line room.
Right. And so the most important rooms on this whole team, I know everybody wants to talk about the quarterback. I know everybody wants to talk about the running back. The most 2 important rooms on this team is the offensive line and the defensive line. Period.
Well,
period.
12 defensive linemen under scholarship, 14 offensive linemen. Neither group has seniors, so that's not in play. the first seven names of the O-line we're comfortable. Like, we know the names, we know what we're getting with. The top six for the D-line are names that we know and have some relation to. But both of those have 10 freshmen. 10.
Well, they were heavy in the recruiting cycle, I think, on offense line. Was it 4?
Yeah, so Justin Jenkins, Jacob Hood. Now, again, so you got Ben Hart, Corcoran, Piper, Nuri, Ben Scott, Teddy Prohaska, Henry Lutovsky. That's your top 7 at the offensive line.
That's your top 7.
That's your first 7.
Yeah, them the dudes you know. At the end of the day,
you think Justin Hood and Jenkins?
This offensive line is going to come and go, and this has nothing to do with coaching. Well, it does have to do with coaching, but there's only so much your coach do. How well and how efficiently and consistently either Bryce Benhart and Teddy Prohaska get better, or does a freshman like Gatula, or does Cochran, or does Hood continue along the progress of getting into best shape that he can, so he can push guys for playing time, period. Okay? It don't matter about anything else. Ben Scott's locked down the middle. Jenkins is his backup. You like that right there. You got a guy that's going to be here for 2 years. You got a young guy that's somewhat, he's a wrestling background, a little bit of short in height, but you liked his effort. You've seen some positivity there, right? So center is a hard position, not only to evaluate, but to recruit, because that's not what everybody wants to play in high school. Everybody wants to play tackle, right? But it takes a certain human being to play center. It's not a glorious position. You feel like you have some good stuff there. And then inside, right? Nuri, Piper, Turner, Cochran, and Lutovsky. Out of those 4, you got to get 2 legitimate starters, 1 guy that can swing both, and 4 that's got to be emergency. You feel pretty decent. Nori's not a physical guy. He's big, moves pretty quick. Nori, it's all up the stairs.
Sound.
Can you mentally get engaged to be at your maximum? And that means playtime's over. All right? Take this stuff serious. Football ain't a game to be playing games. And then on the other side, Cochran, can we use your athletic ability and your quick feet, and the times that you have kind of played well was inside, right? We need you to stay injury free, and we need you to get your trunk and stuff a little bit stronger. That's kind of weight room stuff. Then you take Lutovsky. Can your feet get quicker? And your Ackman. Piper, you got the combination of what everybody needs, right?
He's just the smallest of the bunch.
Right, but he's the shortest. But the thing with him is, we can't have the big miss. We can't have, I got to block Austin, and I go block the dude Casper goes over here, and Austin comes in. Well, Casper's over there. He ain't nowhere to be. I got lost in transit. Everybody's going this way.
I jacked him up, coach. Yeah, but you got the wrong one, bro.
No, you didn't hit anybody. You didn't hit anybody, and dude went in there. So if they can get that, now when you get on the edges, which if people didn't really look at, I think if people didn't really look at, and then I don't know, I'm not getting into who called plays down in South Carolina. All I know is Marcus Satterfield was the offensive coordinator. So if somebody else somehow was calling plays with telepathy, it's not like Marcus Satterfield didn't know what play was being called, right? And he didn't know the game plan. He didn't know the reasons why they were doing some of the things they were doing. That's what you saw in the spring game. So when you see some RPO with the counter action and guys, I call it tightening up the edges, that's to eliminate, in my opinion, I might be totally off from a defensive perspective, is to play action wise and play call wise, help out the edges on your tackles. And it's to give you another thing to prepare for, to slow you down your pass rush. Now, what they have to get better at, as far as when they're doing it, is not have so much leakage when that happens. So essentially, you still owning the line of scrimmage. So then it does look like a run play. Now you're kind of almost quick setting them, but you're having a Bonner there check release. You're having a tight end check release, a la Illinois game, when both those dudes just let the dude just come in there and just blow Casey's shoulder out the frame. So those are the things that can be done from a system standpoint, DP, to help out this offensive line. But with that being said, you can't do that every single play. With that being said, Bryce Benhart, Teddy Prohaska, get it together.
Benhart, add to that conversation.
I did. Who did I say?
Well, no,
I said Ben Hart. Didn't I? Ben Hart, Teddy Prohaska, get it together.
And Corcoran.
Well, Corcoran.
He'll get it together if he's inside.
We're talking
and gets healthy again.
And that
Corcoran, I assume, is just inside. Corcoran only had to play left tackle because, or whatever he did, because
If it's your 5, who are your 5 to start with of that group?
Well, Ben Scott, Nori. I'll go Turner. What was wrong with Turner? Did he roll his ankle?
Was
it ankle? It looked like
leg something.
It looked like a basketball. Hopefully he's all right. So I got Turner. Okay, those 3, and then tackle. I don't know because Gatula didn't look out of place. Now, granted, you're going to get the second team, but here's the way I am. If I don't see improvement, right, I'm not going to keep pushing repeat on the song and ain't changing lyrics. All right, I'm going to change the lyrics. Okay. And even because if I'm going to change the lyrics, that means go to another player, which in this case, it'd be young guys. And at the worst case scenario, I'm getting the same outcome. I'm betting in year 2, I won't have the same outcome.
More upside. Defensive line did that. They sent the 2 young guys out there. Stephon Wins is transfer portal. The
2 young guys aren't in his position. Stephon Wynn is more on the inside. So that comes with Raekwon Buckley and maybe Nash Hutmacher. I don't know. I if it was me, I know you're graduating, and you know what? Maybe he wants to go. Well, he's already won that. He's already won a national championship. I just don't know where you would go, and I don't know who's looking for defensive tackles to possibly play and get into a true winning situation. I still think this roster should be good enough, and you should be able to manufacture 6+ wins. That's just me.
I'm not disagreeing with that.
I mean, but there's a lot of holes, man. We got a lot of stuff to cover. And Austin, you know what's even better? We on the stream.
We on the stream?
Yeah, we're on the stream. So we ain't got. I'm looking up there. We ain't got to do that. I'm like, dang, DP ain't cut me off yet. We good.
No. We can pause. We can hit pause in the stream and let the people who stream after we stream insert whatever they want to insert. Then normally the other people who stream what we stream do it on a clock, so we try to match the clock.
Oh, okay.
And that's monetarily and structurally. But even in this stream, we can just pause it, allow them to do that, and then it'll pick back up. So we're not really losing anything, and we don't have the segment sponsored, so we're not really transitioning. So we're okay. There's a whole bunch of. I'm finding out.
Yeah.
More about this stuff, giving me 2 hours a day that I can handle and learn all this other stuff that goes on, bruh. Yeah. Look, them 2 extra 2 hours a day.
The vortex, man.
Man, look, yeah. I spent 2 hours down at the new location today.
How we looking?
We're framed. We're all framed up, so you can see where the offices are. You can see the new studio area. All that was done, and then. At some point, I need to bring in Mark Onweiler to tell the story because we were recording. This is where we are in this thing, and Jay. So I'm inside recording, kind of a selfie. Hey, this is where we are, and I know Mark's going to come and do it, but Mark's outside filming, and as I'm filming, I hear the loudest, strangest tirade I've ever heard. I thought dude was coming in the door after me. Like I was like, who is this person yelling at me and why? And so I walked outside and dude was right there at the corner, 11th and 0. And he is on a tirade that come to find out later, Mark recorded dude in this tirade. Jay?
What was he mad at? Why you ain't go talk to him?
I did. I went out. Like I literally just stood there and I'm like, you good, bro? And he was, I still don't know who he's mad at. We need to bring Mark in because Mark had I don't know who he was mad at or who he thought he was speaking to, but he was speaking so loud that quickly Lincoln's finest showed up. Right? And dude didn't care. Jay, he looked Mr. Officer dead square in the face and continued his tirade about you ain't bleep and your mother ain't bleep and this is BS. And I'm looking at Mark and I'm like, that dude just randomly on the street in Lincoln. I'm just like, y'all need to be careful out there.
Yeah, I wouldn't have recorded him.
Mark, I didn't know that Mark recorded until we got back here.
Yeah, with them type of people, you can't make eye contact.
Well, Mark, he was shooting the outside panels, right? And dude walked into Mark's shot and began yelling. And I didn't know that Mark recorded all of it until we got back here, because I was back in the office and Mark was in his office and I heard it. And Rico heard it and lost his mind. And I'm like, oh my goodness, that's the dude from down the street. So we need to put, he was, I felt bad because I wanted to help. I'm like, bro, are you okay? But he was on something.
Yeah, you should have known he wasn't all right.
No, he was not all right, and he cared less.
I mean, do you think Malachi Coleman plays in the first year?
I think we'll see him in weeks 3 and 4.
Oh, you think he's going to do 4 weeks? Do you think? Well, I mean, you got Doss from Kansas City because he cold blooded,
right? Well, they and you hear coaches talk about they like Doss. I think Malachi offers a thing that they have said is the future of Nebraska wide receiver play. Track guys with length who can stretch the field. And what we saw in spring game was that this was a possession-based passing plan, assuming it's the basics, and that's really what it was. If you need a field stretcher, some of these track dudes got to show up for you.
Yeah, but do you play a guy at that point in time with all the dudes that they got? Do you just say, like, how do you choose who you play for 4 games, or who do you have on there? Because at the end of the day, you want to make sure if you're doing it that that it's worth their red or them not redshirting.
Well, if he shows up as a kick returner, as a kickoff returner, right? So we saw him in high school. Yes, he's running at different levels of talent in the Big Ten than he would, at Lincoln East. But what he did on the field was different as a kick returner. Also, him stretching the field with his speed. Even in the Big Ten, his size and speed, if they run him on even as a decoy for 4 routes and burn out a corner and a safety by having to cover it, he has value to this offense. Like I would imagine Marcus Satterfield, no matter who the quarterback is, going, yeah, well, because we can win a couple that we maybe don't deserve with a receiver of that size. I mean, you tell me as a linebacker, if they bring out fresh legs and a long burner and put it outside, doesn't that affect the way you immediately mentally defend?
Yeah, but I mean, if it's not really like something that's
who's their field
in their DNA. Well, Marcus Washington can run. I
feel like that's Betts' job to lose. Maybe it shouldn't be, but I feel like he's the prototype they're going for.
Like the vert guy?
He has that track speed.
Yeah, I mean, Betts is legit. It's just more or less getting him back. And I still think he's not in football shape yet, and rightfully so.
Yeah,
but that's what you need. Is really good.
Is he good in the scholarship count situation?
Oh, I'm sure he is. I'm sure he's in there. I mean, I think he must have shown. I've never heard. I haven't listened to Coach Rule what he said about him, or if he spoke about him. That's.
Like they put out IGC. Like they did a lot of press on IGC.
Right, but the IGC had stuff to say last year, though.
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, I just think that for these young guys, yeah, it's great to say you playing as a freshman, but at the end of the day, are you really playing? Like, it's one thing to be playing, another thing to be participating, and then you just wasted a whole freshman year. And now when we talk about, remember when I talk about you're behind and playing catch up, now you really are behind now. Now the guys, I mean, let's just be 100 here. Amari Cooper and Julio Jones, I in my opinion, were the 2 most polished freshman receivers I've seen in a long time.
Mm-hmm.
A long time.
Mm-hmm.
They looked like seniors, and their route running was stupendous. Both of them top 5, top 6 picks.
Mhm.
They didn't start. Smith at Philly, he didn't start as a freshman. He didn't play as a freshman.
Trey didn't start.
Trade as a freshman, right? So, I mean, playing receiver takes some time, man. It does. It takes, because it's one thing that and if you're only going to be primarily a kick returner and then a field stretcher, boy, in this day and age where you really don't get the return kicks, you better be on the level of Devin Hester to make it worth it to you as the player and the team.
Yeah, I'm trying to. So I'm reading some of the text from the YouTube stream, and a lot of the questions, right, about what things do against that. I always I love, if I'm gonna be the offense coordinator, I spend most of my time with defensive coaches, and because what would make you uncomfortable? So asking a linebacker, okay, what's the best way for me to use this guy against you? Like, who's going to affect you?
Middle of the field, but that's where your tight ends, that's where you're like the most, I feel like the most consistent and explosive offenses, right? And let's just look at the pros. Tight end position is I think, obviously I think New England made it sexy to have 2 tight ends before they, with Gronk and the knucklehead. But when Gronk really was doing it, and then obviously down in Tampa, you think of Kansas City, you think even the Raiders tight end. So the tight ends and the ability to attack the middle of the field, number one, is the most efficient. Okay. Even though potentially there could be more defenders there with 2 linebackers, but you have matchup problems. We're talking about tight ends now on a small side. Are 6'2.5". Majority of them are 6'4" plus and can run. Their catch radius, so that means your accuracy doesn't have to be as good, but then your completion percentage ideally would go up. So whether you do it with tight ends or whether you do it with play calling, when you go back and look at South Carolina when they really took off, and it was the night they played Tennessee, I think, was the level routes that they ran, the crossing routes that they ran. Then they were getting physical on outside with, I call them smoke screens, jailbreak screen, whatever you want to call them. I mean, whatever you want to call them, now routes or whatever, that allowed them to really be physical out there. Now they did it by moving the pocket, having number 44 that was there. I felt like he did a really good job of protecting the edges on play side. And then the level routes, which you were able to cross the in front of the linebacker or the secondary or the second level defender, excuse me, see if he takes the cheese, and then you're throwing to an area, right? So if you're coming from the left side, throwing it to the right side, you're throwing it right at the hash, no farther than right past the hash, because if it gets to the numbers, he's going to be knocked out and it might be an interception. Well, you catch that, break one tackle, hit the sideline, cock the head back, strike up the band. You start doing that type of stuff and those type of players first, right?
Does it matter if it's Jeff Sims or Casey Thompson to do what you just described? That on-time, in-place throw with accuracy.
Right. Well, we know one quarterback obviously healthy that can do that, and that's Casey. Whether people want to recognize it or not,
right? And
that's factual. And he did it without running for his life a lot of times, throwing on the run. That play against Northwestern.
Play against Rutgers.
Well, the one Northwestern, making chicken salad out of chicken doo-doo.
Mm-hmm.
And we've seen a little bit from Sims in the spring game. You saw Sims being able to reverse roll out there, look the pass, and he threw, I think, 2 to Marcus Washington. No, I know one that was kind of like that level route, got to him, he had to slide and stuff like that. So you got 2 guys that can do that. And Sims is the better runner. He's bigger, faster. I don't know if he's faster, but he's bigger. And let's be honest, he's probably faster.
Mm-hmm.
But Casey can pick him up and put him down.
Yeah,
that's one thing that really surprised me last year when I saw him at practice, when he decided to accelerate. I just assumed from what everybody said that he's only a pocket passer, right? Casey's a phenomenal athlete.
If we can get him to slide and stay in the lineup, then I'll ask you on a 50-50 to 0-100 scale, what's the likelihood in your mind that Casey comes back?
I don't know. I mean, I don't know the situation. I mean, that's his personal business. I'm sure as he's gone along in the rehab process, I'm sure people have put feelers out there. I don't know if
that is a statement of truth.
right. I'm
like,
sure
you ain't
I
even got
don't
to
know,
speculate. The answer is yes.
and I don't know who I don't know how it works, but I'm just assuming that people put feelers out there, and especially when they've seen him, through the pre-practice stuff, seen him throw some, so then they can kind of project. Okay, yeah, he's right on time. You could ask your trainers. Okay, he had this surgery around this time. He's in spring ball throwing. It looks like it's a pretty good, velocity for, I don't know, 15-yard throw. Okay, well, how does this correlate to what you would do with one of, a player that we have in our program? So you can start projecting some. I mean, I'm sure people have put feelers out there, what he, if he would be willing to leave. I think Casey's a competitive person. I wouldn't be surprised either way. I wouldn't be surprised.
I know of 4 schools
him coming back
that showed interest. Now I don't know what his conversations with Matt Rule and Marcus Satterfield are.
Yeah,
but
I mean, those are the ones that they got. I would never. I would think I wouldn't be surprised if he comes back and competes, because I truly think Casey's not afraid of competition. He faced it down in Texas, and if he has other opportunities, I think as he gets along in the rehab process and stuff like that, he can have some more frank conversations, because I'm sure he's a graduate, so he can actually transfer at any point in time after, in the summer. So I would hope he be back, because as you know, you need 2 quarterbacks. I think it would make Jeff Sims and/or him better, them going into a competition. I don't think by any means it will be 100% one quarterback playing if those 2 are on the roster. For Casey's too good to be just.
Well, I would think that the way they're talking about Harburg, that his run pass option becomes a thing that they could package up. Same thing with Chuba. I'm surprised. I have to be honest. I'm slightly surprised that Torres and Smothers both went into the portal right away. Like, I'm slightly surprised by that.
Why?
Of all the people here, similar types of quarterbacks,
Torres got the biggest arm.
Yeah, like, he has the biggest arm. I thought that the best athlete pre-Jeff Sims was Logan Smothers. I mean, he was a legit track guy. So I thought, okay, too many similar types is what I thought. So I was slightly surprised. And then Sean Hardy, I wasn't surprised by.
I'm not surprised by either Logan or Torres, because Torres probably didn't get a lot of reps, because you got to deal with the competition and with the emergence of Harburg all through camp. Number one. Number two, Logan Smothers it was said that he has an option to come back. So that's a conversation that was led probably by the coach. Hey, you want to get back home or close to home? No hard feeling. We understand, because look, he's played before. So I'm sure once he got a little bit of taste of starting, and I think he gained a lot of confidence getting thrown into the Iowa game, and essentially had the Iowa game won.
Yeah.
Okay. So he's proven a lot of people wrong and proven a lot to himself. So if he wants to go play, then I'm not surprised by that. I'm surprised Chuba's not in there. That's probably the most surprising that he's not in there.
Okay.
Number one, because he's so young.
Mm-hmm.
Number two, the emergence of Harburg. But I think and the only reason I would say, okay, I understand where you're coming from, is because they'd be waiting to see what Casey does. Because if Casey just say Casey decided to go to
Auburn,
Virginia, or something, just say
Washington State,
somewhere. Say Casey decided to go somewhere,
Arizona.
He tried to go, like, say if he went somewhere, right?
Oklahoma State.
Then it opens.
Sorry.
Then it opens the competition to
all
everybody
hypothetical.
else.
All hypotheticals, all just off the cuff.
Then it opens up. Then it opens up number 2, 3, 4. Then the competition behind Jeff Sims. Essentially, Jeff Sims is locked in. Regardless of what they want to say, he's locked in. Number 1, if Casey's gone. Then everything behind him. Now that competition ramps up.
Yeah. Oh, there's so much depth to it, so much deepness to it.
It's not even over yet.
Well, like there's so many.
What's the number we at, man?
So you're at 92.
Austin, where are we at now? It's got to be lower than 92. It was 92 yesterday.
No, it was 95.
95
It was 95 yesterday. Now it's at 92, and you've got 4 quarterbacks in the room. That's all 4 quarterbacks plus we got young Woj from IMG Academy as your walk on. You've got 6 running backs. Anthony Grant, Ramir Johnson, Gabe Urban Jr., A.J. Allen, Emmett Johnson, and Quentin Ives. You have 11 wide receivers, 6 tight ends, and then 14 offensive linemen.
Yeah, man, I don't know, man. I just know that.
Like some people are having some uncomfortable conversations down there right now.
You had 92.
92.
Supposedly.
7 players. At least 7 players
got TV timeout, though. We got breaking news. Did you guys see what Nick tweeted about me, though?
Oh,
Nick,
get him. Get him, Jay.
Nick, can you hear
him?
Me?
Oh, he know exactly that. Like the smoke hit him right away. Like
Nick.
Yeah, get him. Get him.
Nick.
I do not regret posting the thing about you struggling with the hot sauce.
Get him.
I don't know how you got into my Twitter. I really have no clue. But kudos, man. As I text
hold on.
I'm glad they can teach an old dog new tricks.
He defending?
Nick, how are you saying I got here? I just got here.
Backpedal?
I was in class, man. I don't know who got into my
Nick,
Twitter.
Why are you moonwalking, man? What is happening?
What am I moonwalking away from?
Hold on. Let's just have a conversation here.
Let's have a
conversation. How are you saying that I got into your Twitter when I traveled here and walked right in onto the radio and you tweeted something about me that was so heartfelt and true?
And true. Interesting.
Read the text. Read the text that you said about me.
I will read the tweet that came from my Twitter account.
It was from you.
It was from my
broad daylight. Like
love.
It texted. It said. It tagged the foreman, Mr. Foreman himself.
The correct account now.
The correct account.
Yeah. Oh, on purpose.
Yeah. I made sure to double check which one.
Okay.
Wait, you made sure to. So it is from you.
Oh,
see?
It is. Yep.
What did you say?
Is the best radio guy ever. I, Nick, owe everything to him.
I appreciate that, Nick. That, Nick.
It's
just
Jay,
a matter of 24 hours how you were up at such a high, DP,
Jay,
that he went to a low.
Yeah, like he had
you know what I mean?
What did Ashley say? I will humble you.
Jay, I'm going to tell you right now, Jay.
What?
I was busy in my good old entomology class working with crickets and grasshoppers and butterflies. And I get out of class. I turn on, or I click my phone on out of my backpack and I go, Rico quoted my tweet. Mark quoted my tweet.
They did?
What's going on here? I was like, what tweet did they quote? And sure enough, I read, Foreman is the best radio guy ever. I, Nick, owe everything to him.
You know what, Nick? I appreciate that, man.
You're welcome, Jay.
Jay,
you participating in the hot ones this week?
Negative, Ghost Rider. No,
why not?
Never again. It's not happening.
So what is the appropriate response to this, Nick? Because you can't deny it. You cannot allow this to happen.
Why are you coming in here trying to deny it, man?
You cannot allow
what?
That you sent the tweet.
You cannot.
You know why I came in here? I came in here to check this computer, check that computer.
What time
all the
was
public?
It? What time? Like, did you
I have no
leave?
clue.
What computer did you leave signed on?
4:24 p.m.
No way.
What?
I've been on here on the stream. How could that happen?
Is my Twitter on that laptop?
No, it's not.
So
on
if
there.
I come in there, is my Twitter account? If I push Twitter, I'm not saying the tabs there.
Text line.
I'm not saying the tabs there, Joey Foreman.
And we're going over number. We've been talking football.
I'm not saying the tab's not there. You can X out of that tab.
The great mystery evolves.
I changed my password real quick already.
Yeah.
I walked out. I was like, man, I don't know how they got in there, but I was like, I got to change my password.
See, you don't
the
know
new
who
password
your friends
is. I love Jay 4450.
Right. Like he doesn't know who his friends are right now. Like he's literally questioning everybody. Like, wait a minute, who did this to me?
I'm just trying to get my education.
Yeah, you done now?
I'm close.
Yeah, you
close.
done now. You know.
Yeah. Ooh. Anyway, Jay, kudos to you and your little posse, whoever got
it was Rico, though. You know that,
I'm
right?
sure it was Rico. Thanks for outing him. Now I got to talk to Rico about it tomorrow.
I will say this: Rico was, when I walked in, he was at that desk there.
Oh, was he?
Yeah.
I see. And the weird thing is, I never logged in on Twitter in there. So,
but did you see his response? His response was, "I don't know how he did it, but I guess we're at war now."
Oh, is that what he said?
That's literally what he said. It's right there. I don't know how he did it, but I guess we're at war now. So
it could be next week. It could be 3 months from now.
You better listen to Eric. He says, "Oh, young Nick, you mess with the bull, you get the horn.
You get the horns, baby."
Here's the difference, Nick, between me and you. You will find ways to go and mess around. See, like, I'm not getting my hands dirty. I got people in here working for me, mafia style.
Well, hey, that's not my fault. I can't help that. I got to control what I can control, and that is I can get you.
He went full on grovel, didn't he?
Yeah.
Like, you got to admit, Jay, on just a random Monday, I went to the well and I dug up that video.
That was pretty good.
And I was like, you know what? This has nothing to do with what you're
but as we
about.
have this conversation, Austin, I want to point out, you are not the only person here who has not done the wing challenge.
Who else hasn't?
Chicken Man over there.
Hey,
Jake.
Jake. Hey, whoa. Time out.
Jake Sorensen.
Why we got tweets coming out here? Why are we? Wait.
Look at him. He's trying to figure it all out.
Rico, my man.
Jake Sorensen, what you got there? Can I see it?
Can I see it?
Oh, that's spectacular.
Anyways, back to
anyway, Jay, it's good to see you, man.
Yeah, I love you too, Nick. Anyways, back to Husker land here. Okay, that's the end of the first hour. Okay, DP.
So he says, I did not write this. I must have been hacked.
The people know the truth.
Hey, man. They do. They read your tweets, man.
That is so good.
Anyways, we're going to put a little pause in the Husker stuff.
Yeah.
We're going to do like a short segment here.
Yeah.
I just want to get into 5 or 10 minutes just to kind of flip the thing, just because I felt like it was big news today.
Yeah.
Well, it happened last night. Phoenix Suns eliminating the LA Clippers.
Let's get it.
Kawhi Leonard having knee issues. I just want to ask you from a top-down perspective, and I know you know people in the NBA and all that, but just your perspective. What's Kawhi's legacy? Because he doesn't like doing interviews, and I think that for him, he has some anxiety. I don't want to say anxiety, but he just doesn't. He doesn't like he doesn't like the hoopla. But as a player, and all I've heard is everybody seems to like him as a teammate, right? Mm-hmm. And he's kind of like one of those teammates is like he's a good teammate, but he's never too close to you unless he really is close to you, that's fine. I can deal with that.
Yeah.
But what do you think his legacy is? I know that like ever since that thing in San Antonio with, he's up for a contract, the way San Antonio said they could play. Tony Parker, came out and said, I played with a torn quad tendon or came back after however many months torn quad tendon or whatever he had. And then boom, he has knee issues after he's scoring 35 plus points in the last 2 games. What are we doing here?
Look at him.
I just got to search.
Just look at Nick. You just gonna walk in?
You just gonna
you just gonna walk in? You just gonna walk in?
I apologize, but this is
just gonna walk in? Look, you still a student.
This is interesting.
You still
I pull up the Twitter and it's my profile. I gotta take back what's rightfully mine. Log out. I don't know how you guys did it, but kudos. Nice job.
Nick, nobody was on your Twitter.
Okay.
That's your problem.
Have a good rest of your day, guys.
You just said that 2 minutes ago.
I know. I apologize for interrupting. I really do.
No, you're not apologizing. You came in here like a spoiled little kid.
I wasn't
trying to get your ice cream back, man.
I wasn't trying to talk. I just had to take back what's rightfully mine. So I apologize for interrupting the conversation.
Yeah, thanks.
Well, you just ruined the moment.
Thanks.
It was a really good conversation.
It was set up well. It was set up.
Okay, well, here. We don't need to go to break here because Nick just comes in here and just ruins it.
No. Please do.
No,
please
stay
do.
here, Nick. We want you here.
No.
What's your view on the quarterback situation? Let's fast forward to.
I think it's really.
Let's fast forward to August 1st. Mm-hmm. What's your guess on what the room looks like? who's in real competition, who's getting ready for the season. Is Casey Thompson still here, going head-to-head with him and Jeff Sims, or is Casey Thompson gone and Harburg is cementing himself as number 2, or somebody else has had a great summer in fall camp?
I believe that Casey believes. I feel like Casey believes that he's the best quarterback in that room. And as we know what kind of player Casey Thompson is, I think he stays and tries to win the job. And I think he does actually eventually win the job. I do believe he has an uphill battle, simply because he missed out on spring. And as you know, when a new staff brings in their guy, there's going to be
whether they want to say it or not.
Exactly. It just maybe it's unintentional.
Right.
I don't want to call it favoritism, but just
it's
understanding that hey,
like you was a favorite, their guy now Austin.
Yeah,
and now you definitely ain't never getting back in favor.
I apologize,
hey, Austin,
Jake.
What's your view? Okay, we're just gonna pass.
Yeah, how does it feel to have Austin replace you on Jake's Mount Rushmore?
I can't, I don't
like he just took over. Like
I apologize that you feel that way.
He took a sandblaster to your face,
great
man.
experiences through state hoops, through football.
We did.
I'm looking forward to the fall as well.
Every time that we make progress, but you just can't stay in your lane. But that's your problem. You can't deal with success, man.
No, but I do not regret posting the video. I don't.
All right.
He just
now you got pecan pie in here.
Giving up the relationship.
Pecan pie over here co-signing for you. PP car loans over here co-signing for you. Austin, let's get your view on it. On this April 26th at 5:03. What do you think the quarterback room looks like?
Sims is the starter. Because of that favoritism aspect, I think they wouldn't have gone so hard after him and brought him in, given him the reins like this if it wasn't to give him the starting job. I do think Casey has something to say about it. I was really impressed with the way he played last year. I think he came in, he did his job under all sorts of circumstances. Casey's got to clean up some weird misses from last year, but I think he has the ability to do that. I think if his hand's fully healthy, that goes a long way. He's definitely more polished than Jeff Sims. Casey's the adult in that room. Plain and simple he is. And I think you can't understate how important that is. I think that's a room that needs a grown man. I think this coaching staff needs a grown man to help them transition through. I think Casey's maturity is huge. It sounds like he's well-liked by the team. If Marcus Washington is your 1A wide receiver, that's huge. Again, they have that chemistry that's there. That's a built-in advantage. He's worked with the running backs. He knows how to talk to the offensive line. And having a grown man at center in Ben Scott, I think that helps Casey too. Those are two dudes that have seen a lot of football that I think can get on the same page pretty quickly. Casey, has learning to do with a new scheme like anyone does. I think it's been easier for him mentally than it has any of the other quarterbacks.
Right.
All that being said, I still think Jeff Sims gets the opening nod, but I hope it's a short leash. If he's not ready and Casey Thompson seems like the type of person to be professional about it, to be mature about it, to say, okay, you didn't pick me first. I'm still going to be here. I'm still going to work. I know I have a moment.
Look, Nick, still looking at his
He's
Twitter.
Just going to tweet something.
Hey, he don't understand I'm still in his Twitter.
Yeah.
Anyways.
Like he got the password, bro. Like you.
Yeah, hey, I got your password, bro. I got your password. So when you change it, I'm going to change it back. Anyways, DP, do you, yes or no, DP, Casey Thompson and Jeff Sims enter fall camp in a battle? That means they're both here.
If they're both here, it's a full battle.
Yeah, I'm saying, do you?
And that's best for Nebraska.
Is that your guess?
Best for Nebraska.
That's the best for Nebraska. But is it your guess that Casey stays?
No.
See, I think Casey stays. And
if I can say if Logan or Torres had stayed, I would definitely be on team he's gone. But the fact that those two left kind of hints to me that they feel comfortable in Casey's returning. So
somebody said Chuba can't transfer or else he has to sit out a year.
I think
Chuba would have to go down, right?
Go down a level or go ahead and sit out, which I don't think in the COVID era, people are okay with that extra year, right? It's time for him to go into a system and learn it and, get comfortable with it and otherwise. But from what I've heard, the offers for Casey are substantial and plentiful.
So why wouldn't he have left already?
I would have understood. I would have, well,
Well, first of all, he's already on the NIL, and he's got a great situation here. So sometimes thinking that, now if it's based on truly coming in, no questions asked starter, I understand it. But he's already been to a place where he's got the heck beat out of him, though, as well, though. So that's also has to go into factor because, yeah, you could be the unquestioned starter. Well, maybe the other two quarterbacks that were there been on injured reserve because they couldn't block anybody.
Which is the thing here.
Right.
The Marcus Washington thing, the players that are already here in the system, that's a thing. For Casey, is he going to throw the ball better at another place than he does here? He does not have a Trey Palmer this year. He doesn't. Like, there's no, that's a statement of truth. So then you're relying on, you're trusting the offensive line to do what they're here to do. And you're trusting a group of receivers that may or may not be as good as the group you had last year.
Right, but I guess what I'm saying to be on the flip side of that, and like I said, I wouldn't fault them either way, but I don't know any of the logistics, is it better be a guarantee that the offensive line is better and the receivers are better, because the situation here, granted, if you're going to a situation where the guy that was there last year left, nobody showed us anything in the spring, we need a starter. And as long as you come in and don't mess it up and work hard to progress, you'll be the starter. Kind of like down in Alabama, and they're talking to the Notre Dame quarterback from last year.
Mm-hmm.
Now, granted, Tommy Reese came. He's our offensive coordinator. He knows him. It could be an easy fix. I look at it like this. And sometimes, yes, Jeff Sims has the leg up. But as a competitor, I can see your weaknesses. As a competitor, I know what the coach is looking for without being out there and being exposed. And so all I have to do is do what you don't do well, and do what I do well to great. And even if I'm not the day one starter, which is going to be, it don't matter who's ends up starting, it's going to be all over the airways. You better perform well. It's going to be kind of like Brady. Do you got to wait, and then, your savior. So, I mean, it's going to be heated. Now, it just comes down to what Casey wants to do. And if it, Casey's been handling his business, and if he has something set up and he's got a chance to go and play, you can't fault him for it.
I just think that, and so the lockdown space that I work in, it's different schools. And so what's happening is that those reporters there have communicated. So the same thing that happens here, hey, so-and-so's in talks here. The same thing that happens here happens everywhere else. And so if it's a major program that's curious about somebody from Nebraska, they call me with information. And I don't necessarily take all of it as gospel, but I treat it the same way I do here, that somebody's speaking about it, so you store it away and say, okay, now several people call from a particular region. There's a reason why several people are talking about it. So the schools that I know have asked me about Casey because their programs are interested in Casey. That's what I'm speaking from. And I can tell you that at some portion, some faction of this, those programs have a higher level of receiver game, better offensive line play and reputation, and as much exposure as they would get at Nebraska. Now, if Casey wants to be here, that's entirely different. Like, that's the great override. Casey wants to be here. NIL is what it's supposed to be. He's actually going to get it, right? It's not a promise. It's a commitment. And he actually gets it. Then competitive enough to come in. He stared down all the group from last year, didn't back down, won the job, and then was supportive when he couldn't play.
Right.
I expect that from him because that's what he's shown in full. I also think a part of that, Jay, that if another quarterback was brought in, if I'm the guy who put up those kind of numbers and then you went and got somebody else to come in and do my job,
Awesome. What numbers did Casey have?
You're not loyal to me.
Let's go right. Let's look.
Like,
at
you're not loyal to me.
Let's look at this right here.
Like, is that disrespectful or no?
I don't know. We're gonna look and see what the
Okay, Casey
let's
Thompson.
look at this right here.
Last season,
Let's talk about
173 to 274 through the air. So that's 63%.
Okay.
2,400 yards. It's 8.8 per attempt. 17 touchdowns, 10 interceptions through the air. On the ground, he added 56 carries and 5 touchdowns.
So it's 22 touchdowns.
Yep.
Yes,
10 turnovers
in 10 games.
So it's pretty much
And not healthy.
Yeah.
Not healthy for 4 of those games.
Right. Well, I mean, health that's just part of football. I guess they could be looking at like we can possibly do better than that. I don't know. I mean, I understand as much as it's a big decision, and you know the best thing for Nebraska, it's a big decision. You know, for a lot of these, players, in particular Casey, just because of he's an established player, right, wrong, or indifferent. Some of the interceptions weren't on him. You can see when he was really healthy, he was really rolling, and has proved himself as far as being a good player in the Big Ten, in any offense. Now, you can't minimize the escapability and the potential of Jeff Sims, but you also can't overlook the consistency and playmaking of Casey Thompson. Either one of these guys have never finished the season.
Right.
So if I'm the other, I ain't worried about it.
Well, I mean, Jeff Sims a year ago, 1,100 yards, 5 touchdowns, 3 interceptions, plus another 300 on the ground for another touchdown.
That's at Georgia Tech. That's
right.
like equivalent to 3,000, though. They had
right. They really did. Yeah, that's some Neanderthal football
right,
going on.
Yeah. So I think that, look, I mean, I think was it Marcus Satterfield and the quarterback coach and the head coach feel comfortable with either guy. Ideally, the best thing that they'd like to have both of them, because then they could just essentially just coach football and let the competition handle itself.
Well, it's what you said earlier, though.
Yeah.
If you're Jeff Sims, you don't come to Nebraska if you're a backup, right?
That'd be me,
right?
I ain't going nowhere to back up,
right? So, what was
but
said?
I don't know if I would have left Georgia Tech though.
What was said to Jeff Sims to get him to come to Nebraska with Casey Thompson already here?
Yeah, I'm going to assume Matt Rule and those guys didn't go around and promise starting positions. I don't think they did. I think I would think it'd probably go along the lines. You got a tremendous opportunity to earn a starting spot. Casey's still here. We don't know if he's staying or going, because even when Casey had his surgery, he could have still went somewhere else. I mean, Adrian went somewhere and had a same type of shoulder injury. He transferred right. He was in the portal 3 days after the season. It was a day out. He woke up from his surgery and got in the portal, right, and found a home. So Casey very easily could have left then and found a place. The same places that I guess are looking at him now are same places that'd be looking at him then. So the message to Jeff Sims probably is like, hey, you got the opportunity here. A great opportunity.
Yeah,
versus saying, all right, we're going to give you this starting spot over the guy that was 17 and 10. And
just following Jay Foreman's rule. I wouldn't. A quality player does. I'd be very surprised.
I'd be very surprised if he doesn't start the first few games. Very surprised if Casey's here.
Okay.
It'd be hard for me to sit over there and if Jeff Sims comes out like gangbusters, then there is no question.
I mean, it would be great to have them in a competition because the team would be better because of it.
But if the offense is sputtering, and I'm looking down there, and a healthy Casey Thompson's there, some questions. It's going to come down to what Casey wants to do, and I think the rest after that, I think the coaches they'll figure it out after that.
Okay.
But then on to that running back room.
Mm-hmm. 4 deep. Experience to kind of in the space. Anthony Grant Sr., Ramir Johnson a junior, Gabe Irvin Jr., a sophomore, A.J. Allen is a redshirt freshman, Emmett Johnson, and Quentin Ives. Quentin Ives is a freshman.
Coming in.
Yep.
I think it comes down to really A.J. Allen. It does, man. I mean, he's the dude that got the skills to pay the bills. Anthony Grant is a legit Big Ten back. You expect him to do what he did last year and then some. Excellent in pass protection. Ramir Johnson's kind of like your Swiss Army knife. Right when you count him out, you got to count him in.
And Gabe beat out everybody.
And Gabe has had a tremendous winter conditioning in spring, and looks like he's starting to get back to the Gabe Irvin that I saw when he was a freshman, and he was head and shoulders the best running back.
Beat everybody.
But AJ Allen can tote that
the
pill.
wiggle, man. He got the extra wiggle.
Yeah, he can shake, bake, and anticipate. So it's going to be really with him. We talk about health, right?
Mhm.
It's mentally getting in his head to get him to where he needs to be mentally, so you can see everything that physically is in his body. And so if you can do that running back room, they will feel comfortable with that going anywhere, any place, anytime, because they know they got depth, they got role players, they got they can beat you up and bang you up with Gabe, who's got speed. And then you got guys that, Anthony Grant got the quickness and the tough runner and a leader and physical, can finish. You've seen it against Rutgers. He pretty much won the game, essentially changing that momentum. Then you got AJ Allen, especially in that red zone, that could be the change of pace back as he gets physically and more mentally more mature. And you have Emmett Johnson, who can be your kick returner, punt returner, couple carries a game, special teams guy, as he gets physically bigger and stronger. So the depth is there. I think AJ Allen is the straw that stirs everything.
Do those four stay and compete, or does somebody jump in the portal?
Oof.
Because all four of those in the transfer portal have value, and big time programs would want to have any of the four.
Yeah.
Would all four be willing to stay here and just be patient and work it out?
That's a huge question. I don't know,
because that's some Alabama type depth that we're talking about. Like four guys that if
it's
any of the
like
four,
Alabama, they ain't got nobody in there that can play. But yeah, I get what you're saying. Yeah, I mean, that's tough, man. It's tough. It'll be interesting to see. I mean, I don't know when they have to get to 85. Well, they got to fall camp to get to 85. But I don't.
But you can't recruit, and you can't bring anybody without having.
So when are they projected to get to 85?
I would imagine 2 weeks just to get.
But then the portal's closed.
Well, but you need to have conversations, and then it opens up again before.
When's the portal open up again in Austin?
Right? I mean, it opens up again. Yeah. Trying to think of when it happens. There's 3 windows. But I would think that with graduation, et cetera, because some people won't graduate, who won't burn all the eligibility. So they had to have a window that those people could jump back in. And then anytime anybody else can move, they got to make sure that everybody can move. So.
Yeah, I wonder when the portal opens back up. It closes Saturday, opens back up. It can't be during the.
So the first one was December 5th to January 18th.
Okay.
Then we had this one from the 15th to the 29th. Let's see. This window was supposed to be May 1st through the 15th.
Okay.
Then they moved it up.
My guess would have, yes, they moved this one up a little bit. So I think it's a summer window.
There is so probably after. Like,
I would assume there's a summer window.
Would it be before camp or?
It got to be before camp. It's got to be after school's done.
Well, because you got to enroll in the new school,
right?
So you have to apply for entrance, for enrollment, and then to get in and get your grant papers and all that stuff.
It's got to be after graduation.
So we're not going to be done with this
maybe
until,
like June, something.
We're not going to be done with this until August. Like when they go to camp, we'll know who the people are at their 85, and I would imagine that it.
So
changes.
you could actually sign people out of the portal right now
and be over your number, but at some point you got to get.
Yeah, at some point in time you got to get to 85.
Right, and then you're going to have to make commitments and promises to people so that they don't leave. But nobody on this roster wants to be the people that you tell in July that, hey, you don't have a home, you got to get to work.
Right, that's why I was thinking you would just be getting it done with it right now.
Well, that's why some of the people are jumping in. Like, if I'm not going to be your starter and I'm not going to be able to compete for the job. I mean, Logan Smothers and Rich Torres tell you, hey, look, I'm not interested in being quarterback number 5 or quarterback number 6. I can go somewhere else and be quarterback number 1 or number 2. Then I need to do that. Well, a lot of the people we're talking about are those same people. Like if Emmett Johnson goes to the portal, he's got people at his door. If AJ goes to the portal, he's got people at his door.
In that safety room, who do you think goes in the portal?
You know how much I love this dude, but I think Noah. I think Noah Pola-Gates. But I think that's a bad move for Nebraska because they need the Polynesian influence. In order to recruit at a high volume, you got to have dudes in the building who could vouch for and speak to family, and that's important and it's necessary. I would Corey Collier, if you don't see him in practice and know what it is that they're doing from day to day, and not being able to spot him on special teams, right? Because that's how you're looking. Like the backup safeties and the cornerbacks are all special teams elite guys, and if you don't see them in the special teams, and because we had you had 4 kickoffs and 1 punt, like it's an incomplete deal. You didn't see him. But those are the dudes. Jalil Martin, that even if you love him, if you have to get down, you're not going to get rid of. If it comes down to a safety or a running back, you've got more safeties, so you get rid of the extra safety.
Yeah, but Collier he was in their recruiting class.
I through all of that, right? That a lot of this is the new staff's people, which is why I said Noah, because I didn't think that Noah Pola-Gates was the next dude. Oh, okay. There we go. All right.
2 minutes.
Okay. Well, through all those numbers and all those people, in order to get to 7 names off of this list of 92 is a tough 7. None of this is easy. I mean, if a guy who started games for you last year went to the transfer portal today.
Who was that?
Well, Win actually,
he started?
He started 2 games and was in the
year?
high rep. Yeah, he was late in the year. They had him out in the starting lineup. Even if they didn't announce him, he was in the first set because they were rotating those interiors, and he ended up.
Oh my God, DP! I just can't hold it in no more. I'm laughing, man. Are you serious?
What is happening?
I'm just saying, man. Come on, play. You can't be that, man. Their wide receiver room might get a little thin.
If you do, you're going to get rid of somebody. Okay, you're not going to get rid of the 5 freshmen that you just recruited, right? Is that a fair statement?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so then in that wide receiver room, you have 5 players. Because you have 6 freshmen. 6 of your 11 are not going to contribute this year. What
about Tommy Hill? What about Randolph Kapai? What about Mekhi Geiber?
They're all people who are uncomfortable this week.
What about Seth Malcolm?
Seth, because he was in there, he was just in the people that they brought in, right? Like they just brought him in, right? Seth wasn't here last year.
He was a Frost guy.
Was he?
Yeah.
Oh, he's nervous today.
He was with Litovsky and Gunnarsson in that Iowa group.
I don't know why I missed that. I thought Malcolm was new. Okay, well that's not a good sign. That's not a good sign. Yeah, I mean, think about it. And even then, you're at 5. You still got 2 more bodies you got to find just to get even. And we're still not saying that all of these rooms are Big Ten 2023 ready. Like I'd say the quarterback room, if Casey's returning, is
we
ready.
We need an update on roster number, man. I think they're below 92.
Nope, the official chart has 92.
What chart is that?
I'll send it to you so you have it. Yeah, I'll send it to you. We'll go to break because we're back on radio, so we actually have to do breaks the rest of the way. I'll send it to you on the timeout.
Attention Lincoln. Looking for an effective way to reach the fitness goals you haven't been able to accomplish on your own? Body Fit Training science-based programming is led by multiple highly accredited coaches who will help you get the results you're capable of. Their group of strength training classes are designed to help you build muscle, burn fat, and improve your overall fitness level. At BFT Lincoln, you'll train like an athlete and be surrounded by motivated and like-minded individuals. For a limited time only, book a free class or exclusive trial offer by visiting bodyfittraining.com.
This is Jay Foreman. I wore gear to protect my health on the football field, and I'm protecting it now by staying up to date with the bivalent COVID vaccine. Get up to date while it's still free and stay protected. Learn more at healthylincoln.org.
If your home isn't delivering the year-round comfort you expect, call the experts at Bryant. Warm and cool, comfort and confidence. Bryant Air Conditioning and Heating. Call 467-1111.
Mary Ellen's Food for the Soul. Smoked meats, amazing sides. The only problem when they fix you a plate is that at some point, that plate will be empty. But hear me out. What if that plate was never empty? That dream can be your reality with the Mary Ellen's Express Lunch Buffet. From 11 to 2 every Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and even Saturday. One price, all you can eat, and it even comes with a drink. Tell your boss you're taking a long lunch and get down there. Mary Ellen's Food for the Soul at 29th and Pine Lake. Let them fix you a plate.
Look at your car. It's filthy and probably has a few dings and nicks all over it. Don't be that guy. Get it upgraded and repaired at Renew Your Auto. At Renew Your Auto, they offer tons of services: ceramic coating, window tinting, paintless dent repair, washes and details, bed liners, body shop, and more. Where can you go to get services like that all in one place? Schedule your appointment today at renewyourauto.com. See what Renew can do for you.
If you're interested in installing solar panels in Nebraska, there's a name you need to know. Solar by Alpine Electric is based out of Lincoln, and you can be sure your project will be handled with care and detail because Rick, the owner of Solar by Alpine Electric, will be involved in the entire process from start to finish. We're an REC Solar Certified Pro installer and handle jobs in Lincoln and the surrounding area. Let us show you real-time results in your area. Call Rick today at 402-440-4371. Solar by Alpine Electric.
Hi, Sean Callahan here with Koppel Chevrolet GMC, and it is Truck Month at Koppel, and we are pulling out all of the stops for this gigantic event. The lots are starting to fill, and we have some great deals for you waiting in Louisville. Brand new GMC Sierra Light Duty and new Silverado Light Duty trucks. All trim levels have up to $4,000 in discounts. That's right, up to $4,000 off all new light duty trucks right now at Koppel, so do not wait. Now is the time to buy a new truck, so stop on in or visit us online at koppelcars.com. You must have a trade-in and finance with Koppel. All deals with approved credit.
Are you planting this spring? Make safety your priority. LES requires any landscaping or trees to be planted a safe distance from electrical lines and equipment to give crews safe access. Visit les.com/trees to learn more.
Hey there.
Hi, honey.
Uh-oh.
Remember we told Jamie and Mike about Liberty First Credit Union, how great their checking account and car loans are, the amazing service we get, and how we love being members?
Yeah.
Well, they took our advice. Jamie said how easy it was to move all their accounts and become members. Now they say they're banking with purpose at Liberty First Credit Union.
Learn more about being a member at libertyfirstcu.com. Liberty First Credit Union. Banking with purpose. Member NCUA.
For 75 years, Cedars has been a refuge for children in need, providing kids with safety, stability, and enduring family relationships. Learn more about the organization and how to be part of it every Thursday night from 7 to 8 p.m. for the Cedars Hour on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
The Empire brand is growing with ESC fabrication and sandblasting. ESC is your place for custom handrails, industrial and commercial painting, and more. ESC provides custom welding for aluminum and stainless steel and media blasting of all sorts. ESC has great attention to detail. They stick to deadlines and keep within your budget. If you can dream it, they can make it. Contact ESC Fabrication and Sandblasting in Waverly today at 531-207-9329.
Sandhills Global is hiring. Check out sandhills.jobs for more information. Sandhills is looking to fill hundreds of new openings in sales, traveling support, software development, web design, and more. Sandhills has a professional culture and is fast-paced with a focus on growth, innovation, and leading-edge technologies. Career and internship opportunities are available at our global headquarters in Lincoln, Nebraska. Apply today at sandhills.jobs.
Back to Old School with DP and J on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Oh, man, we are back live in effect. Old School. Jay Foreman, DP. Brought to you by the Mercado, certified Piedmontese, special ingredients and butcher shop. It's been a great day. Nick Thickless couldn't handle his Twitter. We've been breaking down Nebraska and the roster.
He melted.
And see what how this thing's gonna shake out. It's as fun as spring ball was, and all the work that was put in, it's commendable for the staff and the players to, take the bull by the horns. Now we got to get down to business, and that's for the players to handle their business, and the coaches have got to handle their business, because no matter what was done, that 85 is 85. It is what it is, and you got to get there. And so how they get there is going to be interesting, because you can make cases for, reasons why, some guys need to stay. It might be their connections. It might be their potential. It might be the numbers. You might not have anybody else. So you might be here just because of numbers. And if you're transitioning a lot of safeties to linebacker, that takes some time. And then you're transitioning, doing that in a whole new defense.
You would have been a part of that, right? The switch, bring the safeties down a level, bring the linebackers down a level. How long did that take?
It took me a while. But I redshirted. And so I got thrown in the fire, essentially going against the pipeline. So you had to learn, number one, I had to get bigger, faster, and stronger. So I had to do that all while you're going through a national championship season. But then also I had to learn how to play, and there's nobody else better than for me to learn to play against was a pipeline. So, but with these guys, you got Michael Booker III. He was a corner. But then you think of Gifford. You think of other guys. You got a young freshman coming in from Oklahoma. That's a heat-seeking missile. Almost 200 tackles in a high school season. He knows how to find the ball. You got Dylan Rogers coming in, 6'3", 240. Where does he fit in? It's a whole new scheme, whole new body type that they could potentially oversaturate because of the speed aspect, and you're big enough to, if played correctly, hold your own against the run, but then you're fast enough to help eliminate RPOs and any outside runs. And so that could weigh into roster management as well. I mean, there's a lot going on. And also, again, the most important room is the offensive defensive line. Do you keep an extra space for the transfer portal? What do you do on the offensive line? If you feel, I think they feel like they've seen some progress, especially from Bryce Benhart. Number one, dedicated himself in the weight room and looks totally different body wise. Matt Rule talked glowingly about him, that he can. I think they're trying to make things more simple so he can just kind of let loose, and he's got to continue to get better at it. Being 6'8", 300 some pounds, you have to be so conscious of your pad level, because what your greatest attribute could be something that could be, not working in your favor in the run game. So, pad level is huge. Knowing where you're going and being a cohesive unit. I think health-wise, they hoping to get Teddy back and full speed, because that's the only way you're ever going to really be able to evaluate the whole offensive line.
Is high hat still a thing allowed at this level? Like, if you're going to go 6'7", 6'8", 6'8", you got to know that, listen, your leverage is everything. You can't. Yeah. High hats don't win in Power 5 football.
Don't win anyway, but I think they've done a better job at it. When you look at the spring game, the hat on hat, knowing where you're at, guy for guy, they look better. And I know they got dinged up in the in the offensive line. First of all, you had Turner playing left tackle. He's supposed to be in the guard. Then Nori had to jump out. So you're kind of doing on the fly. It's a good test for guys to see if they can handle on the spot training. Are you knowing everybody's position, or are you only focusing on your own? Can you handle sudden change? That's part of it, because that very easily could happen in the game. If you are better than our backup left tackle, and I trust you to go in there to hold it down for a game, kind of like Brant Banks did against Indiana, in case he thanked them after the game, you got to do it. There is no I'm all-time guard. If you're the starting guard and our two left tackles go down, or our two tackles go down, and we need to kick you to a gut tackle, well, your butt got to go out there and perform, because we got a better backup behind you.
I'm still a little salty that Banks is not a part of the program.
He down at Papados.
He down at Rice. He down in Houston. He's at home. He's having the time of his life. But it bothers me that we couldn't turn a 6'6", 280-pound athlete into a Division I road grinder.
Man. So, I don't know. I have no idea, man. I don't have no apples in those oranges. All I know is I know Coach Donnie's doing a good job with those guys up front. It's up to those guys up front to do a good job by Coach Donnie.
Do you like this room?
I'd like it a lot more if them dudes are getting in that and skipping rope. Now, I'd like it. I like it better because the second year with Coach Donnie, I just have got to see more consistent play of the edges. But I like Coach Donnie. I like what he's trying to do. I like that he got some retention. I know
that's a veteran group. Like the first seven is
the standard is the standard. I think Ben Scott being in the middle is huge. It's huge.
I had to smack somebody who compared him to Cam Jurgens.
There are two different types of
And I said, stop it. Like, just stop it. Like, just stop it. You know, I said, I get that you like him and he's a road grinder, but also he's got really good hands.
They're two different players.
Yeah,
Cam's a great player. Don't try to do all that stuff. Let Ben Scott do his thing and go from there.
And I still think that Ben Scott might be the best tackle on the team.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I don't know.
He might. Well, that was again asking people that he played with and coached him, and people that he played against, and they said, yeah, if Nebraska needs, they've got a dude at center that can play tackle for him.
If it comes to it, who's the next center then? And also, what does Ben Scott want? Because I know centers get paid, but tackles get paid.
He wants to play.
Yeah, I think right now you can't worry about what they want. You got to put your best five out there. They got to get healthy enough to where they can train together, study together, go through it together. You know what I'm saying? Dog days of summer where you're pissed off, don't like seeing each other, finding a way to get it. You know what I mean?
What are you trying to say?
You know, I'm just saying, I mean, look, man, look, dude, you up here in here and
Austin,
you just be mad at somebody because they 30 seconds late. Like, dog, I'm
Austin,
just tired
have
of
you
looking
been
at
in the room with Jay and Vershawn?
I have not.
Okay.
The closest I got was the patio at Tipsy Tea.
So this is what I would tell you. That when Jay speaks of teammates that he's just tired of seeing sometimes, that I imagine back in the day.
Oh, Vershawn. I love Vershawn. But Vershawn, I'm going to tell you one thing about Vershawn. Okay? And this was the greatest thing about Vershawn. You would hear him coming a mile away.
Yeah.
But Vershawn would talk noise. I'm telling you, from the time he got into that locker room, I'm talking about from the time he was in that locker room.
Hear him coming up from the bottoms.
No, he'd be in there just going through the whole locker room, talking noise to everybody. Then it's talking noise in warm-ups. Then it's talking noise during goal line. Then it's talking noise during 7-on-7. Then it's talking noise during inside-outside run. Then it's talking noise in play action. Then it's talking noise during cool down and stretch. Then it's talking noise in the weight room. Then it's talking noise when we get in the locker room. And then it's rinse and repeat.
Did it stop for class?
What class?
No.
That's what I was worried you were going to say.
No, but Rashawn, but I'm telling you, Rashawn kept it competitive. He knew when to push the buttons. And that's what you need. You need that dude. But Rashawn,
every team needs a Vershawn.
Oh yeah,
but
because
it doesn't mean that everybody on the team loved it.
Needs to be Vershawn.
Yeah.
Oh, it needs to be. It just needs to be.
But see, the thing is about that is, Vershawn is 100% Vershawn.
Yeah.
And so we talked a little bit about Dylan Brooks and Draymond Green. See, Draymond Green is Draymond Green. Dylan Brooks is trying to be Draymond Green. That's why it hasn't worked. Rashawn is Rashawn. So if somebody tried to replicate Rashawn,
wouldn't work.
And it's not them, it wouldn't work. I'm telling you, Rashawn would get it cracking and he would know. He would know, like, if there'd be days you over there, you just mad at the world. You mad at Coach Sam. You mad at the D-line. You just mad because your head hurt, your neck is sore, and you know that you ain't even halfway through practice, and T.O. we already ran 200 plays. And here comes Rashawn. Here comes Rashawn. Here's the best part about Rashawn. He would get a pulse, and then like some days you sore and you done been through it, and you don't want to get touched unless you have to hit somebody. Well, here comes Rashawn, just bump into you and just set you off. And then he'd be like, well, he's calling me Devo. Devo, what you gonna do? And then Rashawn, he has that loud voice, so it's hard to talk noise to him because he's just echoing, but that's what made him a good teammate and the captain, that he knew how to push the button. So again, back to the offensive line, these guys got to go through it together with no limitations. Teddy's got to get healthy. I think he's healthy. They were just kind of being precautionary.
Right.
Turner's got to get back healthy. Bryce has got to continue to get better. And then they got to let the leaders in, within that offensive line room, probably Ben Scott, hold these guys accountable. Superior accountability. And then superior expectations. You do that and you start to become one. That's what Coach Donnie wants. He don't want 5. He want 10. He don't want 1. He want 10. He want everybody moving the same. And so once they get on that level, then you're going to start to see them play better as a cohesive unit. You started to see it at times because there was a couple weeks where, people were calling and they were really struggling. Well, people didn't realize they had Whipple was calling 5 out. He was calling 7-on-7 plays, running back release, tight end release. So essentially you would just blitz 6 and just hit Casey. If you want an example of it, look at Rutgers. But
can I go on a rant here?
But hold on. But what they did there, though, they bounced back, though. The thing that they have to eliminate is the Dookie type of plays, And the reason
Watch this.
The plays of 4 guys are going where they need to, and 1 guy goes the wrong way, and then the guy that goes the wrong way misses the guy right in front of him, and he comes in and obliterates the play that would have ended up being more than a positive play. They get in front of guys and get on guys and start to reestablish a line of scrimmage. It'll be a totally different conversation about that room and then the team.
How is it that this stuff happens at Nebraska?
Well, Frank Solis came
help
back
me
and
understand this because I don't understand how every bad, ridiculous thing has happened in this football program when it shouldn't. It really shouldn't. Right? Is that fair?
Well, the best part about it is when I think Nebraska. I remember I always say if there was 10 ways to lose a game, Nebraska hit all 10 and went for the daily double by week 8. Hey, straight up.
That's so
I
true.
think it's all out of their system. Frank came back, took the curse off, and it's going to be all good from here on out. He told me, he said, I take the curse off. He's like, I don't know what the curse is, but nobody in our family we did, but we were relinquished.
Okay, I'll also be that dude. There's no damn curse. You just have to get better. Nobody cares. Get better.
The football gods are serious.
No, get better.
Yeah, but the football gods.
It's the okie doke, Jay.
The football gods, DP. They are DP. Let me tell you something.
They blame Lil Red for the problems of this football program.
Hey, but here's what the best.
But he's dead and gone now.
But here's what the best excuse was.
Don't blame the dude you paid millions and millions. Don't blame the people who were paid millions to coach your kids. Don't blame the people who wouldn't do the extra work and wouldn't show up to work. Don't blame none of them people.
Hey,
blame Lil Red.
One legit reason why Nebraska's at where it's at right now, and one of the best excuses I've ever heard. I know we're going to go to break, so text line, tell me what you think. Number 1, legit. Steve Peterson set forth of where Nebraska is right here.
Mm-hmm.
and it's one of your own. That's the worst. If you look at any family structure that goes downhill, and if you want to look at
He was the rotten uncle.
Hold on. If you watch Snowfall, it's his own family that leads to the downfall of the whole, conglomerate.
Yep.
Number 2, the funniest excuse was, well, the Akron game and the storm. So here's what people were saying. Mother Nature caused the game to be canceled. Hold on. Knowing dang well they knew that game was going to be canceled 24 to 48 hours ago. It could have played it the next day. Never was an option. So you're trying to tell me one game that didn't get played set forth 5 years of losing. Man, get out of here. Let's go to break.
You're listening to Old School with DP and J. Download the mobile app and listen wherever you are on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
This is Jay Foreman. When I played football for Nebraska and in the NFL, I wore protective gear to safeguard my health. Today, I'm not only protecting my health, but everyone in our community by staying up to date with the bivalent COVID vaccine. Update your protection with the bivalent COVID vaccine while it's still free. Find out more at healthylincoln.org. That's healthylincoln.org.
Action Plumbing, Heating, Air, and Electric is the call I make when I have a need for plumbing services. Whether it's for my home or office, if I need a repair to a water heater, softener, or even my garbage disposal, I know I can count on Action to help. In one simple call, their amazing customer service team promptly schedules a service call, often getting to my needs within a day. Action delivers honest quality services we can count on. To learn more, visit actionlincoln.com.
Attention Lincoln. Looking for an effective way to reach the fitness goals you haven't been able to accomplish on your own? Body Fit Training science-based programming is led by multiple highly accredited coaches who will help you get the results you're capable of. Their group of strength training classes are designed to help you build muscle, burn fat, and improve your overall fitness level. At BFT Lincoln, you'll train like an athlete and be surrounded by motivated and like-minded individuals. For a limited time only, book a free class or exclusive trial offer by visiting bodyfittraining.com.
Sandhills Global is hiring. Check out sandhills.jobs for more information. Sandhills is looking to fill hundreds of new openings in sales, traveling support, software development, web design, and more. Sandhills has a professional culture and is fast-paced with a focus on growth, innovation, and leading-edge technologies. Career and internship opportunities are available at our global headquarters in Lincoln, Nebraska. Apply today at sandhills.jobs.
Mary Ellen's Food for the Soul. Smoked meats, amazing sides. The only problem when they fix you a plate is that at some point, that plate will be empty. But hear me out. What if that plate was never empty? That dream can be your reality with the Mary Ellen's Express Lunch Buffet. From 11 to 2 every Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and even Saturday. One price, all you can eat, and it even comes with a drink. Tell your boss you're taking a long lunch and get down there. Mary Ellen's Food for the Soul at 29th and Pine Lake. Let them fix you a plate.
There's a new way to vacay when you fly LNK. Check out brand new service at the Lincoln Airport to some of America's favorite travel destinations. Catch convenient nonstop flights to Vegas, Atlanta, Minneapolis, Orlando, Austin, Dallas, or Nashville when you fly via Redway. With so many affordable options to choose from, planning your vacation has never been easier. Visit GoFlyRed.com and book today. Flights are public charters offered by Global X Air Tours LLC and operated by Global Crossing Airlines Incorporated.
Start your Sundays off right with Jeff and Nicole Essink on Fitness Fanatics. Jeff and Nicole discuss health and wellness, how to achieve fitness goals, and more through the life of gym owners and gym goers. It's Fitness Fanatics from 9 to 11 a.m. on Sundays on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Are you looking for a solid, stable career in assembly, CNC machining, or injection molding? We got you covered. Hi, Bob Williams, HR Director for Garner Industries, a world-class manufacturer with a 70-year history right here in Lincoln. And I just listed some great career opportunities that you can find by logging into GarnerIndustries.com. If you want top pay, excellent benefits, flexible work hours, and the opportunity to work in a clean, modern, air-conditioned facility with great people, contact me today by applying online at GarnerIndustries.com.
It's April, and that means the school year is almost over and summer road trips are on the horizon. Stop telling yourself you'll upgrade your car someday and do it now. Mullen Motors lot is full of great vehicles to take home, so you don't have to worry about your current car barely surviving another road trip. Come check out their lot just north of 48th and Layton and find your next ride, as summer road trips are just around the corner. Mullen Motors.
No taglines, just quality vehicles. Mullen Motors.
They say that April showers bring May flowers, but May delivers a lot more than that at GE Landscape Supply. Stop by for the Spring Landscape Days sale with almost everything on sale. Get 15% off of mulch, 10% off decorative rock, 20% off of flagstone, 25% off of decorative cobblestone, 15% off of stone edging, and 10% off soils. Save up to 25% rain or shine from May 1st through the 6th at GE Landscape Supply for the Spring Landscape Days sale. Open Monday to Friday, 7 a.m. to 6 p.m. and Saturday from 7 a.m. to 4 p.m.
Wall-to-Wall Wine and Spirits is now open in Lincoln. Shop our expansive collection of wine, beer, spirits, and cigars at 5040 North 27th Street. From top-shelf liquor to crowd-favorite beer, Wall-to-Wall Wine and Spirits has a beverage for every taste and every budget. Plus, join our loyalty program to earn rewards and save on future purchases. Shop Wall-to-Wall Wine and Spirits at 5040 North 27th Street in Lincoln. That's 5040 North 27th Street.
Back to Old School with DP and J on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
We are back. 3 more minutes. So Wednesday is over. My man on the YouTube said he believes that he's in there. Steve Peterson was a debacle. Where's he at? That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
But we can't worry about that. We can't worry about spilled milk. We got to figure it out, and that's what Matt Rule and company are going to do.
Who you got tonight, man? Who you got tonight? 4 games. 4 games tonight. Who you got?
Who you think?
All right. So Knicks in Cleveland. Knicks are up 3-1. They finish in Cleveland, or does Cleveland show up one more time?
Cleveland wins the night just because Spider is mad.
Yeah.
But the Knicks will win at home.
Like this could be the 50-point Spider night.
57 points tonight.
Yeah, he literally could light it up tonight. Yeah. Lakers and Memphis.
No.
Memphis wins tonight.
No.
Memphis wins tonight.
No, they don't.
Lakers
For
had
the
to
same
travel.
reason the Cavs win tonight, Memphis wins tonight.
Yeah, John gonna show out at home.
Bron trying to step it. You question and you got it. You said he didn't give you 40. You need somebody to give you 40. He gave you 22 and 20. He's gonna put the dagger in your heart. Anthony Davis, okay, he was brittle last game, 13 points. He's gonna hit you off for 36.
I'll make you a Mercado steak bet that Memphis wins tonight. And I don't even care about this game. I don't care about this game.
Why you hating on Bron?
I'm not hating on Bron. I never once said Bron's name. You did.
Oh, well, I ain't backing down no bet on Bron. You know I'm betting it then. I'm betting it then.
I don't. My thing,
Bron.
I think all of these tonight, right? So Jay says Cleveland tonight, but Knicks in the series. He says Lakers tonight in the series. Then you got Miami going to Milwaukee. Miami leads us 3-1. That's
Milwaukee.
Just, right? That they show out tonight at home.
And I'm not even if Milwaukee wins tonight, I'm almost gonna say that they win the series.
If they win tonight, they win the championship.
No, Milwaukee.
Yeah. If Milwaukee wins tonight,
I won't go that far.
They win the series, and then they go because they're never going to be more vulnerable than they are tonight. Injured players.
Giannis.
Yep. Like
the Greek.
Yep.
The Greek god. He's going to be like Hercules, Achilles, whoever they are.
Achilles.
They're going to be like Zeus on these cats.
Tonight, Troy, underrated movie. Troy is one of my favorite movies. That was Brad Pitt at his
Brad Pittiest.
Yeah, that's the pittiest of all Brad Pitts.
And what's the fourth game?
Golden State at Sacramento, tied at 2. Like the world wants this to be a 7-game series, right?
Yeah, I'm going Golden State.
Right?
But they're horrible on the road, though.
Yeah, that's why I said to me.
But I'm gonna go Golden State. Wiggins is back in his deal.
Okay.
And only I'm doing this because Fox is hurt.
Also, who you got tonight? Knicks and Cleveland. Who you got?
I have the Cavs tonight, Knicks in the series.
Okay. Lakers, Memphis.
You already said you going
Grizz
with Memphis.
tonight, Lake show in the series.
Miami and Milwaukee.
I want to pick Milwaukee, but I got a buddy who's a huge Bucks fan, lives up there. He's at the game. That's bad luck. Matt, I love you.
Like
You're
we all have friends.
but-
We all have
Yeah,
friends that we know that whoever they root for is jinxed.
I hope that his luck turns around tonight, but I can't bet against
Like
it yet.
Rico and Jake, we always know that when they go all in on their teams are going to choke.
Yeah, that's Matt.
Yeah, Golden State and Sacramento.
Sacramento gets it done tonight. Warriors win the series, though.
That's going to be good, man. It's going to be good. That's good stuff, man. I'm ready to go now.
You up there hating on my? I can't wait. I'm gonna watch this game tonight. Staying up extra late. Sorry, I'm distracted. I'm watching these Georgia defensive linemen destroy Michigan right here.
They look.
I'm watching this dent.
Looks
technique.
different, don't it?
They have a Georgia that has a technique called dent technique. Essentially, you dent the other team's face mask. Hey,
So the technique is be faster and stronger.
The technique is get off the ball, shuffle, and blow this dude up and make the tackle.
Beat him up.
You call that the daily double, boy.
Oh man! Thank you, guys.
We are out, man. We'll see you guys tomorrow.
At first, I was really nervous and intimidated to buy a ring. I wasn't sure what I was getting into.
My experience at Starter Heyman was very easy. I felt like I walked out of Starter Heyman with the ring that was going to make her go wow and say yes.
I love my ring. It is so beautiful. I absolutely love my ring. I get compliments on it all the time. I always tell them Starter Heyman. Yeah, we would definitely recommend Starter Heyman.
Yeah, it was great.
We're definitely coming back. Sauter Heyman Jewelers, Lincoln and Grand Island. SauterHeyman.com.
They say that April showers bring May flowers, but May delivers a lot more than that at GE Landscape Supply. Stop by for the Spring Landscape Days sale with almost everything on sale. Get 15% off of mulch, 10% off decorative rock, 20% off of flagstone, 25% off of decorative cobblestone, 15% off of stone edging, and 10% off soils. Save up to 25% rain or shine from May 1st through the 6th at GE Landscape Supply for the Spring Landscape Days sale. Open Monday to Friday, 7 a.m. to 6 p.m. and Saturday from 7 a.m. to 4 p.m.
Are you planting this spring? Make safety your priority. LES requires any landscaping or trees to be planted a safe distance from electrical lines and equipment to give crews safe access. Visit les.com/trees to learn more.
Rosie Sports Bar and Grill. Open for lunch and dinner at 10th and P or at 1501 Center Park Road.
Mary Ellen's Food for the Soul. Smoked meats, amazing sides. The only problem when they fix you a plate is that at some point, that plate will be empty. But hear me out. What if that plate was never empty? That dream can be your reality with the Mary Ellen's Express Lunch Buffet. From 11 to 2 every Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and even Saturday. One price, all you can eat, and it even comes with a drink. Tell your boss you're taking a long lunch and get down there. Mary Ellen's Food for the Soul at 29th and Pine Lake. Let them fix you a plate.
Getting experience to jumpstart a meaningful career can be difficult, and education can cost a fortune. Luckily, AmeriCorps can be the solution. With AmeriCorps, you'll earn a stipend and education